Hey, what's up? So, you see, I've been using n8n for quite a while, and I learned tricks that I really wish that I knew in the beginning, because this just made my life so simple that it's not even funny. And what I decided to do, I came to a blank canvas today, because I'm going to show you exactly those hidden features. No, not exactly hidden, but n8n doesn't really tell you about them explicitly. So I'm going to show you exactly those tools that just made my life so easier, so you can do the same, and maybe you don't even know that those features exist. So here's my little summary of what we're going to go over, and yeah, that's it. Let's go first with if and switch nodes. When I got started with n8n, I saw that they had the if node, and they had the switch node, and I was kind of confused, like, what's the actual difference? Because those both of those are going to route my information to different ways, as you can see here. And yeah, I'm going to give you a quick explanation of how it works. If you have a look at the if node over here, the if node only states true or false. The thing with the if node is you can add many conditions. For example, if information X equals to, I don't know, yes, and information Y is not, I can say here, is not equal to X, for example. And I can just keep adding more stuff, or I can even change this to or, you see, and you can just keep adding conditions. This is the thing with the if node. You can also add conditions in the switch node, but you cannot stack conditions. You can only put one condition per route, but the if node has only two routes, where one, if you meet the conditions, it goes to route number 1. If it doesn't meet, it goes to route number 2. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. While the switch node, you have to set out the information. For example, if Y is equal to X, you go up. If Y equals to Y, then you go down, and you can add more routes. Unlike the if node, you can have as many routes as you want. If node, you can only have 2, but switch node, unlike if node, you cannot make many filtering options. You can only make one filter per route. So that's the biggest difference. Here you can see one side by side, so you can compare them, and that's it. That's it for if and switch nodes. Let's talk about, okay, credentials. I just wanted to mention very quick about credentials, because I wish I knew this before I started with n8n. Credentials are just annoying. I really recommend you having a look on some videos on how to set up those credentials, because they are just annoying. You have to set up credential for everything that you have to add in your flow, but after a while, when you add your credentials, that is pretty smooth. So yeah, just know that that's going to be annoying. Check some videos on how to add specific credentials, and yeah, that's it. Okay, let's go to another one. Playground area. This is a personal tip. As you can see, I am inside a flow called playground. What exactly is the playground area? I have many flows over here, and one of them is the playground. As you can see, here is my playground. What do I use the playground for? When I am updating some flows, I do not make the changes. For example, if I'm making new prompting, stuff like that, I do not make the changes in my flow, because otherwise I would have to send data, and then I have to filter the data so it goes to the right node. What I do is Ctrl C over here, I go to my playground area, and I just paste it. Now I can do whatever I want. For example, I can just come here, connect a trigger, chat trigger. Here, I connect a chat trigger node into my thing, and I can just test my AI agents. And when the AI agent is done, I just come here, Control X, I go back to my flow, and I just paste the new one. This is going to save you so much time that is not even funny. I cannot put in words how practical AI agent building is going to be if you start using a playground area. So yeah, another personal tip for you. Let's see what else. Okay, do you see that I mentioned here that we have executions, copy to editor, executions and copy to editor? So let me go to this one so I can show you how it works. You can go to your executions, and you're going to see every time that you send an information. So if you perform a test, it's going to run, and you can see exactly what happened in your flow. But this is not the main thing that I want to show you. Besides, you can actually do that. You can see the route over here, and you can see sometimes the information that it got is not exactly what you wanted. So you have to just fix the prompting. But the problem is you have to put the data over there, and you have to try over again so you can get similar information. But there is an option over here called copy to editor. And if you copy to editor, you are going to have the exact same information from that execution that you can just play around with to debug it and just fix it. This, I couldn't believe I didn't know about that in the beginning. This is insane. This would save me so much time. I cannot count. I cannot count how many hours that would have saved me if I knew that before. Because originally what I was going to do is go back to my main flow, then I would test workflow, then I would watch the other workflow and say, okay, then I would just manipulate my data into go into the same place so I could play around with that. And since you can just go to executions, you have all the information already set. You can see exactly what happened in the flow. Yeah, that's it. That's mind-blowing. Okay, another information that is also related to copy to editor is what is called mock data. This is very interesting. If I come here, for example, and put workflow trigger, execute workflow, I'm just going to add some random fields for explaining to you how it works. Okay, so if I put test output, I can come here and click on this pencil icon over here, and I can literally make the data that I want. So I can work with data that doesn't even exist. For example, I want this to be yes, I want this to be a number, for example. Let's say this is 2, and this is no. I can even add more fields here, over here. I can add, I don't know, and then I add this, and then I come here and I don't know equals 3. I forgot this. And that's it. You can literally make up your own data, and when you're finished, you put save, and data is pinned. So every time that you run the workflow, you're going to work with the data that you made up, the data that you set here. So you don't have to redo everything. You don't have to send multiple prompts. You can just pin the data and work with that data until you finish the thing, and then you can actually use the system as is intended. That's it. Use mock data. This is so important. It's the same concept of the executions. If you go to the executions and you copy to editor, all this is going to do is pin the data that was used before in the executions. That's it. Another thing that I love using. Okay. From AI, this is a huge one. You have an AI agent, and sometimes you want the AI agent to use tools. So let's get any tool over here. Workflow. So let's just set this up so we can actually show how it works. We come here, we give them this. Okay. You can add a system prompt. I'm gonna leave as your helpful system and say hello. The thing with the workflow, the from AI, if you don't know about it, you can come here and you can put the name of the tool, name, and description. You can choose the workflow that you're gonna use. Just a second. Okay. So how from AI works? If you come here to expressions, you type curly brackets, and then you go $ from AI. From AI is a way to create a prompt within the it's a way to create a prompt within the functions of your tool. So if I started from AI here, you see that I have this field, and let's say that I want this instructions to be the instructions that the AI agent that is being called, what does it have to do? These are literally the instructions. So you can come here and say instructions. The way that it works is, this is the name of the prompt. Then you can put a comma, space, and then you put column quotes, and here's gonna give a description of the prompt. This is the literal prompt. So I say, write in this field the instructions for the AI agent to proceed with the user query. And this is basically a way of using the AI brain to send the information that you want. Because if you don't use this, it's basically just to make a completion, and then you have to parse the data, get what you want, and just put it there. Here you can dynamically ask the AI to put all the information that you're asking for inside the fields that you want to send. So yeah, this is fantastic. This is so practical. Any information. For example, I wanna from the doctors I made, I wanna book an appointment with Dr. X, and then you make a field that says from AI, what is the name of the doctor that the user is asking for, and then it's going to read the information and say, okay, he's asking for Dr. X. And that's how it works. And because this is a prompt, you can just refine it and make it as perfect as you want, so the data is exactly what you need to be sent. Very, very simple one, but very huge one. I love that function. It's just mind-blowing. Okay, code AI. So you might or not have used the code node, which is extremely helpful for formatting and parsing data in ways that n8n doesn't really have natively. But the problem is, I don't know how to code, maybe you don't know how to code, and you would like to use the code node. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. I come into ChatGPT, and I use this guy over here, n8n Assistant. You can just go to Explore GPTs and you can find this one over here. All right, what do? First I say, I need a code for an n8n code node. This is important because coding JavaScript in n8n works a little bit different because it has to get the information from the previous node, so it has a specific way of getting the information into the code. So it's very important that you mention that to the AI. After that, all I do is I describe where is my data coming from. Let's say that I have a split out node. The input comes from a split out node. Okay, so now that I mentioned where the input's coming from, I often get a JSON of what the data actually looks like, so the AI knows what it's working with. So if I come here, for example, and let's say I go to this split out, and I go to JSON, all I do is I just copy a snippet of this, so the AI has the context of what does the input looks like. Got it? So I come here and I say, this is what the input looks like. And after that, what I do is I start describing what I want to code for. So for example, give me a code that removes all the numbers from this output. And now I'm going to send it. It is going to write a code node. As I mentioned, because you specified that it's for n8n, even though it's an n8n assistant, it is going to be tailored exactly for the code node so it works. And because you mentioned this is coming out from a specific node, it has the context of how that node works, how the output of that node works. And after that, you are also going to provide what does the input looks like, so the AI knows exactly the data it's working with. So this is the code. You can just paste in there and it works. That's how I use my code nodes. It's so much functional. It's just, I don't know how to code it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just fantastic to have this accessibility to some things in life that you cannot explain. Okay, what else? Playground area, vector databases. That's a huge one. If you don't know what is a vector database, I really recommend you going into it. But for example, you have Pinecone into n8n. And the thing with vector databases, that was such a headache for me in order to understand how they actually works, how you have to put the data, because I use for very specific situations. So what I'm going to say, try to make the information that you're putting, because you can split the information. I'm not going to get in details how to specifically use the vector database because it's a little bit complex, but what I'm going to tell you, learn how they work. They are very, very useful if you're building AI agents, because you can make a memory. Like, you can put inside all the information that you want the AI to use, but the AI is only going to look for the information that it needs. It's not going to get, for example, if you use a vector database, not a vector database, a regular database, the AI is going to get inside and have to put all the data inside of the database in order to look for a specific thing, and this is so wasteful. But if you have a vector database, it works based on context. The AI is going to ask something to the database and is only going to retrieve what is contextually appropriate to the thing that the AI is looking for. Learn how they work, and that's it. Just when you put in information, make the information not too big and not too small. You have to kind of split it Don't split it too big and don't split it too small. That's my number one tip. What else do we have here? Okay, the last one from our list is the split out node, because I really love how this works. Okay. How split out? I'm going to go very quickly how it works. I'm not going to show you how it works, but I'm going to explain it, how I use it personally. Sometimes you're going to have a document, and if you know how JSON works, everything is going to be nested together. Let's say that you have many arrays. Imagine these blocks are arrays. They are inside a single JSON object, like this one over here. All these arrays, they are inside the object. So if you're going to use the automation, let's say that you have a node. Let's say that this is a node, and you want to put information 1 first, okay, then information 2, then information 3. The thing is, you cannot do it natively when everything is nested together. You only can input all the information together, and the thing is, you have to specify. So I want to get information 1, and then you have to specify I also want information 2, and I also want information 3, which is not very automation-like, because sometimes the JSON might have different sizes. Maybe this is 5 and not 3, and you only configure to 3. Anyways, if you use a split out node in the middle, it is basically going to take everything and it's going to overlap the information. So you see, we have 3 blocks over here. We have 3 blocks, but they are counted just as 1. So you put this here, and what it's going to do is process 1, process 2, and process 3. And after all the 3 are processed, they're going to be put together again into one thing, and you can just manipulate the data. That's it. It's going to get a lot of items that are just scattered around, put them together, and give you to use in your automations. That's how split out works. And I think we got to the end of our list. So these are stuff that I really wish that I knew when I started with n8n. They were really annoying at the beginning. They were actually really annoying because I didn't know they existed. And yeah, life has just been so smooth since I learned about them. And this is why I'm sharing. Not much information of those stuff are in the internet. I had to learn by myself. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about n8n, systems that you're building, anything like that, just put in the comments. I really want to help people. I really want to make valuable content that people are going to see and feel, well, I really enjoyed this video. I really think that this video helped me. This is the thing that I really want to do. So let me know your struggles. Let me know what you're working on. And that's it. Thanks for watching the video, and bye-bye.